Hey, the 560 is getting the job, so it's time to give it a service before it goes to work, so that's what we'll do. This plug somebody rounded off, so I gotta take it with a vice grip if I can. If not, I may have to leave it alone. Yeah, going. I guarantee you this plug's not going back. You stay out of the wave, Bruno. I don't need you to get a bath. Oh wow, wash used oil off a cat too bad. I don't put a plug in unless I can tighten them. I don't just screw a plug in like that and leave them to go get a wrench. That's stupid. Then if you ever get sidetracked, you could leave it. You could forget to tighten it, and bugger up your engine because you lose the oil. My dad worked for an Ellis-Chalmers dealership in the 1970s, and he rebuilt a 190. And anyways, he came in and he was really happy with this Ellis-Chalmers that he did. And a couple months ago, later, the customer came in and was very upset. And what happened is the customer's hired man just screwed the plug in and forgot to tighten it, and then he went to work with this 190 and he lost his oil and buggered up his engine. So I can certainly understand his frustration. So don't do that. Either leave your oil plugs out completely, or when you put them in, just tighten them up right away. Okay, now that the filter's drained, we'll pull it off. This takes 1.5 wrench on these. The later 282s, like the 656 and some of the 706s, have actually a smaller bolt in them, and they take 1.1/8 wrench. Yeah, they're warmed up pretty good. The filter's hot to touch. It's been a while since the oil was changed in this old girl. Look at that. IH filter. I just got this tractor. The oil is actually not that dirty for a 282. They contaminate their oil right away. Yeah, this is the old number too. 279. Oh, maybe not. 279-994 R91. Yeah, this is the old number too, so this is an old filter. The later ones are 323827 R91. I don't usually change you don't have to change the O-rings every time. I will because it's so old. But you don't have to change these very often. Actually, this one wasn't too bad. You certainly don't have to change them every time as long as they seal. This is actually a good ring. I didn't have to change this one, but I am anyways. Oil up the gasket. Used oil out of the engine is fine for that. I'll wipe this filter housing off and out and change the filter. cleaning her out. I often clean these out with Varsol, but I'm not at the shop right now. I don't film at the shop at all. I will not make videos out of there. Every time, that's why I'm working outdoors all the time and got better lighting outside. Of course, it's not winter now either. The Fleetguard LF563 is what this filter is, which is the same thing. And their Case IH dealers starting to sell Fleetguard filters. I think International has actually partnered with Fleetguard, to tell you the truth, because our International truck dealer has been selling Fleetguard filters for decades now. Gotta make sure it's right in the groove. Otherwise you could bend your filter canister, and if you bend your filter canister, all you could do is replace it. That should be tight enough for that. I don't put a plug in unless I can tighten them. I don't just screw a plug in like that and leave them to go get a wrench. That's stupid. If you ever get sidetracked, you could leave it. You could forget to tighten it and bugger up your engine because you lose the oil. My dad worked for an Ellis Chalmers dealership in the 1970s. And he rebuilt a 190. And anyways, he came in and he is really happy with this Ellis Chalmers that he did. And a couple months ago, later, the customer came in and was very upset. And what happened is the customer's hired man just screwed the plug in and forgot to tighten it, and then he went to work with this 190 and he lost his oil and buggered up his engine. So I can certainly understand his frustration. So don't do that. Either leave your oil plugs out completely, or when you put them in, just tighten them up right away. It's just dripping. It'll drip like that forever, so I'm going to plug it and fill it. Okay, for oil, this jug is older, but the content is exactly the same. We just keep filling the jug and buying in bulk. But I use 1540 diesel engine oil. What oil is best for your tractor depends entirely on where you're at. This is pretty much universal. 1540 can be used everywhere, but in warmer climates, you could get away with 30 oil. In warmer climates, like I know with the gas tractors, I got a couple of subscribers that are low ash purists, and they wouldn't use anything but in them. But the thing is the sulfated ash content went down a lot in diesel engine oil over the years too. Like in the days International recommended that, from those days to now there's been 50 years of engineering go into oil, so it's a lot better product than you used to be able to get. And they say, oh, use the low ash 30. Well, International didn't always recommend that. They recommend 30 weight oil for certain temperature ranges, but then when it's cooler, you gotta use lighter oil. In the days of single grades, that's how they did it. They went 30 weight during the summer and 10 in the winter, and 20 for some seasons in between. So what oil companies did is they created a multi-grade oil, and what they did is they put in viscosity improvers in the oil, and what it does is it doesn't thin out as fast as what it does as what single grade oil does. So 1540, 15, W doesn't mean weight, W means suitable for winter use. And you guys who use 30 oil, you notice there's no W on 30. That's because it's not suitable for winter use. And the one guy's from Pennsylvania, and he uses 30 in his stuff in the winter. That's hard on him. IH never ever recommended 30 weight oil in the winter. They never did. You get insist on going to low ash oil. You get single grade. You better be changing her down to 10 weight for your winter use. You better be doing that because 30 is too stiff. But what it is it's a 15 oil, and I think one number's for 40 degrees Celsius, which is still bloody warm. Like it's never gotten that hot here ever in my lifetime. But I think this is at 40 degrees Celsius, and this is at 100, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a 15 weight oil at a certain temperature, and when it gets hot, it doesn't thin out as fast, and it becomes 40. It becomes a viscosity of 40 at the higher temperature. And if you watch my D8 oil change video, 1540 is still pretty runny when it's hot. But 10 weight is just like water when it's hot. So you want the oil to be to be a little thicker than that, especially if you have oil pressure issues. And as for ash content, I checked it out and I couldn't find the 30 weight oil that my subscribers and my mutual subscriptions are using, but I found the specs for farm oil 30 weight, low ash oil, and the sulfated ash content between that and co-op 10W30 is exactly the same, so you don't gain anything there. They're both at 0.9%. And this is 1.0%, so you really don't lose anything by going to by using a diesel engine in the gas tractors. In the diesel tractors, you have to use a diesel oil. Putting gas engine oil in diesel engine tractors is not a very bright idea, but does diesel engine hurt these tractors? Absolutely not. Does diesel engine oil, does it hurt these tractors? It certainly doesn't. This W4 has been in my family for 71 years, okay, and at least 50 years it's ran diesel engine oil, no problem at all for 50 years, so I'm not changing, I'm not using anything else but 1540, so, but as for the 560, it's time to dump the oil in. On these is all pretty well all the International tractors after this. Yeah, fill the oil through the dipstick tube. I'm going to put 10 liters in. I know they hold all of that and check it. Should know the exact amount. I just changed the oil in my 706, but You just, I never paid any attention to it, and as I should have. Of course, I cleaned this funnel before putting it in the engine, because if you put oil in a dirty funnel, it just it kind of defeats the purpose of changing oil a bit. At least in my opinion, it does. This is a Co-op oil, which is a Canadian brand. In the U.S., you could get the major oil companies make 1540 oil, and where 30 or whatever you want to run, and they're all pretty decent anymore. It's not for these old tractors; they're fine. Shell Rotella is probably one of your best choices worldwide. You could get worldwide. That's probably one of your best choices. In fact, I know it's one of your best choices. One of the best oils you could buy. If you live in warmer climates, you can use 30 year-round. You don't need the multi-grade oil. I'm a little bit over full, which is okay at 10 liters. A little bit over full is fine, because the oil filter needs to fill up. And I'll start and check it for leaks. I think the filter's going to hold just fine. Okay, now we'll check the engine oil and see where we're at. Just right on the full mark, or just slight, yeah, right on the full mark, I think. So the engine oil is good. You can't really see it because the oil is so clean. But it doesn't take long for these engines to turn the oil black, believe me. It's one thing they're very famous for, is turning the oil black. They only have 2 compression rings. That's part of the reason why they turn the oil black and have blow-by.